Welcome learner, my name is Shibaji Debnath. In this tutorial I will be talk about Flutter audio player app development series, and in this series I already talk about how can we create the player UI design. I taught you how can we create the simple design in our Flutter app, and it is for the beginner friendly tutorial, and also how can we manage that data through the state. And for this part I was use RiverPod state management package, and I also applied a basic state class, basic audio state class. I already used in my previous video. If you did not see that video, so I recommended you to see that video first, and after that I will be talk about the player state, audio player state management, because this is not audio management, this is the audio player state management. When we are actually play the button, stop button, change the sig bar, whatever I do, so that things can be handled by the states, and that states are actually effective when we are change one screen to another screen in our application. So that time that states can be manage our applications data entire app. So it is very useful when we are actually use that process for the applications. Okay, so if you want to learn about these things, how can we implement that, so stay with me. And if you are new in my YouTube channel, so definitely subscribe my YouTube channel to grow our YouTube community. So never waste so much time, let's start to understanding about the code. So it is our already completed app, and which app actually are created here. And now when I change the songs, and after that songs are changes as per our requirement. So that is actually worked with the states, and that states I already implemented in my previous video. So if you don't see that video, so I recommend you see that video, and you can be understand how can we change the songs. Okay, so in this video I will be talk about how can we manage this player for the multiple screens. Okay, so go to the code part, and now I create another screens here called about screen, and now I just simply copy, don't copy here, actually I just simply open this video. Here I am create about screens widget, and after that I create a scaffold here. So I already create another screen which called about screen. So when I create the about screen, and after that I just change the screen part. If we want to change one screen to another screen, so that time I just simply use the actions button here. So for that purpose I just use the actions, and this actions button actually a icon button, and through this icon button I can change the screens one UI to another UI. So this time, so this is the icon, and here we can use the home, and this time I can use here navigator dot push and replacement, and here we can use the material page router. So this is the home screen changes process can be used here, and after that this same thing I can be used for the home screens also. So just I copy this part from this section. After this section I just paste it for the home screen. So this is the home screen, and this time I just go to the about screen through this. Okay, so this time I just change the button. Okay, so I just change the icon unlike person, and when I click it, so then we can see the another screen. So actually we did not see another screen, we just seen the home screen. So this time I just import the about screen here for the home screen, and here I just save the about screen. So this is the about screen and it is the home screen. So this is the two screens I already implemented. Okay, So when I go to the about screen, so that time we cannot see the audio player here. So I want to see this audio player here, and after that we can also see the audio player here. We already created a audio player UI part. So this audio player UI in the home screen have separate entity, and that is stay in the page section, and in this page section we can see the audio player UI we have already implemented before in my past tutorial video in this series. You can see that tutorial video to create this kind of audio. So audio player UI already here, so this audio player widget need to be added into the about screen also. So we never do so many things, just copy this code from this section, and after that I just simply paste it into the about page section. Okay, and after that just simply use it. But here have some issue. What is the issue? Issue is this audio did not come to the about section, because in this about section if I implement about section for the audio, we can add the audio here, but this audio always initiated from the home screen. About screen is different for that, but audio will be play behind the scene. That means it is the background process, audio playing in the background, but also audio player scene here. Thing is, this audio never comes to the about screen. So this is the actually problem. This is the actually issue. And if we want to solve this issue, so that time we did not set up any audio parameter through this widget. Okay, so if we don't want to set any parameter through this widget, so that time we need to remove the input audio process in this section. Okay, so for that purpose we can use it as a optional, and after that we can just set up it like this. Okay, so if we use this process, so then our problem may be solved. Okay, okay, so when I save it, so after that we can see the player. So but when I play the audio here, so at that time we can listen only default audio which actually available in this section. But if I set up the audio second, this is the actually audio. That audio playing the behind the process, but thing is our application is broke and generate so much exception, and this time I could not stop the audio. So finally I need to be stop the audio player to resolve the problem. Okay, so you could understand what is the problem and how can we solve this problem. So I want to teach about in this tutorial. Okay, so this is the actually problem. So for that purpose we can be create another provider class here, and we can be use the name player provider. And last time when we are create the provider, so this is our provider which can be initiated. This time we can also use this provider. So here we can also use the const player provider, and also I can change provider here, and also can create the class through this way. So first thing we need to be import the change provider options from this section, and also we got the change notifier options. These two things need to be import here. After these things, what is the problem? So I think we need to be use the final keyword, use this section, and after that we can be resolve the problem. Okay, so this is the process to initiate our provider. Okay, so this player provider already initiated here, but what we can do here now? So this time this audio player no need to use as a stateful widget. Okay, we just simply use as a stateless widget, because we are use some consumer state which actually provided by the RiverPod State management package. So that package will be extended in this widget. So after that particular states can be managed whole of the player actions through that states. Okay, so how can we implement that? I just give you the process. So now I just remove this stateful widget first from this section, and after that I just simply change the rename here stateless widget through this way, and after that I just simply use it like through this name. Okay, of course after that we did not use anything this variable, because this is the actually can be used only stateful widget when we are actually uses, but this time I uses stateless widget. So this time if we are use stateless widget, so this state data cannot be changed through the set state function. So this time we cannot be used set state, init state. This kind of states management systems cannot be used into the stateless widget. So for that purpose I just cut this all these things from this area, and after that we simply put all the things in this section. Okay, so after paste here we need to be import audio player into this section, and after that we got the player system in this area. Okay, and after that we also remove all the functions which actually created in the last video. So all the functions cut from this section, and after that we need to be place that functions into this section. Okay, but when actually data is changes, so this time set states cannot be used here. Actually this particular thing will be set up here, and after that we just change notifier listener. Okay, because these states are most important, because if we are remove this part, so our playing state not be working in our player. So I remove everything to reset the process. Okay, so everything is set up here properly. Now I just need to be implement the process into this section. So for that purpose I just remove all the thing here first, and now we just use the consumer state. Consumer widget actually can be used here, because this time I just need to be data consumer through this state, and after that we can use the widget ref. We can be used with the build function, because this consumer states have built into this build functions have extra parameter to passing the data through this process. Okay, so now we can got the data through this way, and now we can be linked with the data to the state. Okay, so these two things need to be comment out first here, and after that I just simply use the player state through this process, and after that through this state we can be watch state. When I simply use the state for watch, so that time that state data can be used. Player watcher can be used in this section. Okay, here can be used, here also can be used, where we actually observe the value, observe the properties. So that time we can use the player watcher can be used, and I just use the player watcher for the variable section. Okay, so everywhere I just simply use the player watcher. And another thing we can be use final player read, and this time we can use the provider as a read process. Okay, so when I use this read process, so that time we can use the change our functions through this process. Okay, so this time just simply use everything for this section, and after that we need to be set up the player value. So now this time we are actually got some problem for this section, because this time we did not require any data input through this section. So for that purpose we need to be remove the parameters from this section, and after that we can save it. And now I just simply save all the things here. So now we need to be observe the audio data in this section. Okay, so when we need to observe the audio data, so for that purpose we can use the audio observer also required here. So this time we can use ref.watch to set the audio provider. So this audio player provider can get the audio data through this audio provider. Okay, and we can also see the audio provider. So this is the audio provider, and we can see the audio through this process. Okay, so this audio can be set up through the home screen section, and after that audio data come into the user section. That means that audio data coming into the player section by the provider. Okay, so this time I just simply go to the home screen section, and here we already set up the audio data into the audio state process. So this time when we want to change the audio file through this button, so this time we can be use the audio file with the consumer. So here we can be use a class called consumer to get the consumer state data through this process, and now this process can give us so get this audio data. We have set up the consumer data through this process. Okay, so actually this is the builder context which actually does not require. We just simply use this process here. Just I need some input parameters, so for that purpose I just use double underscore single underscore for the widget section. Just we need to be use the section for audio setup process through this section, so for that purpose I just use it here. Okay, so now this time we did not require any stateful widget for this home screen at this moment, because this audio file did not be changed on this section. So for that purpose I just remove this process from this section part, and also I just also remove the state class options, and we can also remove this process, and after that simply I just use the stateless widget screen. So this is the stateless widget are replaced, and now we can use this kind of constructor if we want, otherwise does not require actually. So we already set up process for this part, and this time definitely we cannot be use set state functions in this section. So now I just simply use, and the ref is the reference of the audio player reference. So this time I just need to be remove the reference of the audio reader. So audio reader, so if we want to use the audio reader, so audio reader called as AR ref dot read can we use this section, and after that we can use the audio provider. So actually thing is we don't use this type of syntax here. Actually I need to be use the syntax return. So if I use the return syntax here, then can be use this process into this section. So this is actually requirement, and when I use this bracket here, of course use the bracket in this section also to resolve the problem. So this time I remove the process, and now I just simply use the audio setup options. AR can we set up the audio, so this time we can set up the audio file through this section, and also I can set up another file. So this is the audio setup process. So when we actually set up the data, so that time we are use the read functions, and when we want to check the data, so that time we can use the watch. So it is actually a process, but sometimes you can be use watch also, but that is not a good way, because read only fire when it is clicked, but watch always observe the value. So for that purpose we need to be use the read functions for the setup functions, for the functions basically when we want to perform some actions, and when we want to observe the value, so that time we can use the watch. So watch actually used for the property, and read used for the mainly method or functions when we want to use into our class. Okay, so this is the process. So now I just simply use the audio functions here, and when we actually set up the audio, so this time here is the audio player options where we can be set the audio file. So when we can be set up the audio file, and after that this time here we can be use the player set resource here to this process, and after that we can be observe the value. So this time we just simply use the player section. Player watcher can be set up the, here is the audio watcher. So this is the audio watcher, and after that we can the audio property through that particular file, and also we need to be use the progress options in this section. So for that purpose we can also use player watcher for this functions also, because it generates some event. Or I just simply use the audio reader player reader functions for playing the data player data users. So now we can be see what is the output after this codes. Okay, so go to the section after that player. Okay, as per required our data always also here. Okay, so it's working fine. So this is the process which actually use the player states into our application, and this time our player working fine into our section. Okay, so this is the process to set up our state for the player. Okay, so I hope you enjoy my tutorial. So if you like my content, like my video, so definitely hit the like button, and if you want to know about something, so definitely do the comment in the video comment section. And if you are new in my YouTube channel, so definitely subscribe my channel to grow our community, and also press the bell icon button when I publish any new video in my channel, so quickly get notified through that process. And it is all about the course which actually I want to train to you. So we will be meet with you with the next informative video. Stay tuned with me and keep learning, keep updated.